the jewel of the South. This woman is our first ever female wrestler on this platform. We've had legends of all sorts of kinds, and she is an up and rising star and legend in the making. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the one and only Ameera Roze. What's that?
Not much.
Girl, I like your whole feng shui. You look comfortable in your house.
Hey,
Oh man, happy Valentine's Day to you.
thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh man, it's great to see you. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And then I have this man, Mr. Everything, that just hopped on. Uh, I want him to give a slight introduction into how he knows you. And then we're going to get into a little bit about who he is. You dig what I'm saying? So, Mr. Everything, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
All right. Can you please give us some highlights about our esteemed guest?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ameera Roze is, like you said, is our very first women's wrestler. We're not gonna say females. We ain't gonna put we're gonna put some flowers on her name. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
First women's wrestler that we've had on the show. She's amazing talent. I've had the esteemed honor to be in some locker rooms with her, be on some shows, see her work. If I'm not mistaken, she came out of the Firestar Pro Wrestling Academy. Yes. And she's making her way through the towns, man. It's hard to be a professional wrestler in a men's game. It's 10 times harder doing it as a woman because there's so many different avenues, so many hoops and hurdles that you got to go through and jump over just to make a name for yourself, for people to give you the respect that you deserve. And Ameera is a woman who has went out there and got busy with no holdbacks, no barriers, like anything she's ever come up against. This woman has gone through it. You know what I mean? I don't speak to her much. I know she's probably like, how you know all this? I watch from afar. That's what real veterans do. We watch from afar, and then we come and say, yo, good job. And you just don't know what we're saying good job about. But we're watching. We're always watching. So I'm excited. I'm honored to have the one and only Ameera Roze.
Thank you. Thank you.
Clap and tap taps all around. First of all, let me ask a question, right? When did you fall in love with wrestling?
It was definitely like sometime in not middle school, elementary. I want to say it was like 5th grade. I think 5th grade. Yeah. So I know my brother was watching it. I ended up watching it with him, and I like to say I fell in love a little bit more than he did.
Who were some of the people that you saw growing up that kind of influenced you kind of get into the business?
The Hardys for sure, Lita. There was a little bit of The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, DX pretty much, and trying to think who else. Those are like the main ones. Oh, Taker as well.
Okay, you talking about Attitude Era? That's my time. I like that. I think that's when a lot of people started to fall for wrestling because the TV was so edgy and the things that they were doing was just wrong. Some of the storylines back then was kind of crazy. Do you remember any storylines that you actually liked growing up? What was one of your favorite storylines?
I think it was more so Trish and Lita's rivalry because at that time, the women's weren't being shown as much as they are now. So just watching them be able to get to have their moments, and then also like main event for Raw, that was definitely something that I was into.
Awesome. Yeah. Have you tried Lita's moonsault yet?
No, I am not a moonsault girly. I'm not a high flyer. I'll leave that to everyone else who's able to do it. But I have done her Hurricanrana. I've done that. That's the most you would get out of me.
You're not jumping off the top rope?
I mean,
diving off the
See, I would do like a hair pull from the top, but like as for doing flips, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
stay away from it. Stay on the
Yeah.
ground, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll stay on the ground.
Awesome, awesome. Um, well, listen. Tell us about some of the promotions that you wrestled for, and for some of the fans that are not familiar with you, just tell them some of the companies and some of the talent that you've wrestled.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I can remember Five Star Pro Wrestling. That's where I trained, graduated. That's where you see most of my stuff at. I've also done Mission Pro Wrestling. I want to say once or twice. I can't remember. I've been at ACCW. I've done XWW. I was just at DCW 2 weeks ago. I do All Caribbean Wrestling. I kind of go with them a little bit, or a few, if you guys know FEW. Um, I'm just trying to think. I've been all over the place. I've done All Elite Wrestling as well. I've been on there like twice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Who did you wrestle in All Elite Wrestling? I know I saw a picture with you, and I think it was Red Velvet.
Red Velvet was actually All Caribbean Wrestling.
Okay.
I wrestled her, yeah, not for All Elite, but All Elite. I wrestled Tay Conti. She was my first opponent, and then the second opponent was Layla Gray.
Okay. So how did it feel to get to mix it up with those two ladies in the ring?
It was crazy.
Be honest. Who was terrible? Who was terrible? Tell me. Be honest.
I don't even want to say they weren't terrible. Neither one of them were terrible because they're on TV. They get the TV, spill, blah blah blah. So
Right.
They weren't really terrible. It was just when I wrestled Tay, I was stupid green. It was like early in my career, so I really didn't know what to expect, and I didn't have that many movesets. So going into it, I was just like, I could do this, blah blah blah. And I just feel like I didn't perform to my best of my ability. And then when I wrestled Layla, we both basically said that we wanted to wrestle each other, but sometimes in wrestling your time gets cut. That kind of happened to us, so we didn't really get to do as much. But yeah, I love wrestling her. I would wrestle her again.
How long have you been wrestling?
Since 2020, so about almost 4 years. December before.
Okay. All right. Was it hard to convince the people that you love that this is a career that you wanted to get into?
My dad, he was all for it. Straight out the bat. He's cool. My mom, oh my gosh. My mom, it took forever. Honestly, the moment she was just like, okay, cool, was when I did a spot with Ronda Rousey on WWE. That was one of those moments where she was like, okay, you're good. I can see you doing this. I would support you. But before it was just like, well, why are you doing this? You could be doing something else. And I was just like, because I love it and I'm actually good at it. And I could see myself doing this for years and potentially making it. So I guess her actually seeing that one moment and like somewhat seeing a future, she was just like, cool. I trust you. I will support you.
Was it difficult going through wrestling school? Like, take us through that experience of what it's like to be in a wrestling school or program.
I know for other people it may be difficult. It wasn't so much for me because I do have an athletic background. What did hurt the absolute most, will hear, if you're listening, you will hear people say this, is taking those dang old bumps. Oh my gosh. Those first few bumps, I was just like, what is this? Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then it took me forever to learn how to roll correctly because my body just wanted to go one way while my mind was saying go this way. I think that was really like the main issue for me, was just trying to get my body to connect with my mind and just, focus and this. But other than that, like, it wasn't too bad because I did sports and then I did marching band. So I was more into the physical aspect of it all as well as mental.
Oh, you did marching band, you had good knees. Yeah, so I already know. Your knees got to be strong.
Yes, I had to. Yes.
Real quick, with your sports background, touch
Mhm.
on what sports you've played and how that helped you in terms of the professional wrestling, how to transition with how to get into the wrestling aspect and your
Mhm.
cardio. Let's talk about the transition from the cardio from the sports you played before and getting into
Mhm.
professional wrestling. Because I tell people all the time, ain't nothing like no wrestling cardio in this entire planet. I don't
No.
care what you've
Mm-mm.
done. Wrestling has the
Mm-mm.
most top-notch cardio ever. So run us through
Yes.
that little transition.
So in elementary and middle, I did a little bit of the YMCA soccer. That was fun. And then middle and high school, I did track. And when you say the cardio and wrestling is totally different, I was a sprinter. This has nothing on sprinting. Like, oh my gosh. Like when I say I'd be gassed sometimes just from running the ropes or doing like a spot, it's totally different than running like a 100 meter, 200 meter, 400-meter dash, 200 freaking relay. It's totally different. So you actually have to train your lungs and your body to go through the whole entire process of running the ropes and not getting winded and being able to learn how to breathe in and then breathe out when you're supposed to, as well as running spots. You have to learn to control your breathing and stuff. So I think I definitely know that track helped with that because I knew whenever you're running, you gotta breathe in and then breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in with your nose, breathe out with your mouth. So I do that whenever I wrestle. As for soccer, I didn't really do that as much. But I will say I know marching band isn't really a sport, but I consider it a sport because I went through so much. Um, it helped with the discipline, being able to multitask, being able to remember things. As well as just staying on top of stuff and staying in shape. So throughout all that, I did work out and while I was doing the sports. So that definitely helped in towards me becoming a wrestler.
Awesome. Let me introduce you to fitness influencer Brianna Dion. Bri, do you have a question for our esteemed guest?
Hey, how are you?
Good in you.
I am good. It's so awesome to be here with you, but also just to hear about you wrestling because
Mhm.
that looks like so much hard work.
Mhm.
Like I don't even know how in the world y'all do that. It looks like theatrics, but at the same time sports. You know what I'm saying? It's like this whole
Yes.
theatrical sports event. So it looks like
Mhm.
just a lot goes into it. So how
Mhm.
do you mentally prepare for going out in the ring?
Like during the show?
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I'm losing my mind before I go out. Sometimes I'm cool, calm, and collected, but if I'm at a different place and I don't really know the crowd like that or the people in the locker room, I am low key like I'm I'm losing it, but I look so calm. So I just let my body do what it needs to do, let my mind do what it needs to do. But once I get through those curtains, it's just like something to switch every time. Yeah.
Lights, camera, action, then you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm really happy to see. Wow, I got all these. Hold on. You know what? I'm really happy to see. um, all of this representation
Mhm.
for from black and brown people in wrestling. And
Mhm.
I know we talked about it before, but growing up, we didn't really see a lot of that. And now you're seeing these beautiful fit women like Bianca Belair and
Mhm.
Jade Cargill come up and really redefine the stereotypes of black women. Can you talk about that real quick?
Oh yeah, just like you said, growing up, I didn't really see that many people. There was Jacqueline, there was Jazz, there was Alicia Fox, and those were the main people, along with Awesome Kong. Like those were the only few black women that was pretty much being shown on TV. So now you look on AEW, there's so many black women. You go look on WWE, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, there's so many women. And then also when you look on the indies, I don't know if you guys seen that poster where they posted like the women within wrestling as well as the men. There's so many now. So I feel like this day and age, the younger generation who's looking up to us, they can definitely say, oh my gosh, I see somebody just like me who's doing this. I can do it too. I actually had somebody comment on my YouTube and he was like, my daughter actually have somebody to look up to. And that made me feel good because, I didn't have that. I didn't really have that. So
Right.
I love it so much that we have a lot of representation now.
Awesome. What are some of your goals in wrestling? Like, what are some things that you would like to personally achieve in your career?
Yeah. For one, win more belts because right now I got 2. Definitely
Hold
get
up,
my
hold up.
name.
When you say you got 2 of them things.
Yes, I got 2. Yes,
All
I
right.
have the Firestar Pro Wrestling Women's Belt as well as United Pro Wrestling Women's Belt. Yeah, there we are. Ameera 2 belt.
And I had to throw them out there real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just for if people thought you was play pimping out here in these streets, I had to let them know.
Yeah, I'm like that. But yeah, I just want to win a little bit more belts just to let people know that I'm definitely serious this year. I want to get out there some more, go to different promotions, wrestle a lot more names, a lot more people. Pretty much make a name for myself to where I feel confident enough to say, hey, yeah, I'm Ameera Roze. You should definitely know who I am. Or when I go places, be like, oh my gosh, that's Ameera Roze. That's what I want. As well as I want to do more matches on AEW, and potentially do something for WWE. I know it's very slim, but you just never know. And then potentially have a tryout.
All right. Ain't no potentially to it. You gonna do it, sister. We putting that in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We putting that thing in the air, Jack. Talk about some of your strength and conditioning, right? How do you stay fit and ready?
Well, I try to train as much as possible whenever my schedule allows me to. And then I also have a personal trainer that I've been going back to. So he's been keeping me as well as SoFly Manulo in check. So that's what I've been doing.
Awesome. We got the resident chef of the Best in Wrestling podcast, Chef Showtime up there. Birthday boy. Chef, you got a question for our guest?
Well, what is your meal of choice, your go-to meal that you eat every day?
So y'all want the real version or the fake?
We want the real deal.
Yo,
Cheese, hotties, and noodles.
I eat terrible. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I will eat pizza over anything. So, like, I don't know. I've been eating pasta. I've been trying to get a little bit better with it, but some pasta.
Man, eat what you want. Eat what you want. Look, that's the thing I tell people. We burn off so much energy and calories.
Mm-hmm.
We eat whatever we want. So you stay in the gym, eat what you want, get in the ring, get busy. They can't even touch you anyway. So if you start eating healthy, it's gonna be a problem.
Right. Just wait on it because it's coming. I'm gonna force myself to do it one day.
Real quick, when you talked about the representation in terms of what you see as a role model now with the Black community, where do you feel yourself fitting at with the independent community, with all the Black women that we have out there now? You just mentioned that they had that poster. Where do you see yourself fitting at in terms of all of that? Like, do you see yourself as one of the top role models? Do you see yourself as, Black Girl Magic, or, whatever label that you want to put on? Where do you see yourself?
I see myself as someone who is on the come up. So if someone look at my story from the beginning and then now they could be like, oh yeah, like underdog type, I guess. I don't know. I guess you had to follow me from like the beginning and understand my story to like understand who I am. And then people who are going through the same thing, they could look at me and be like, okay, she's an inspiration. And I definitely appreciate where she's going. And because she's doing that and she fought through what she had to fight through, I can too. So that's the type of representation or what I want people to look at as. Not more so like, oh yeah, she's the best of the best. Nah. I want mine to actually have like a meaning behind it.
Right. A lot of time with professional wrestling, when we start to build our character, everyone
Mhm.
says your wrestling character is you heightened up to a certain level, whether it's times 5, times 10. Tell me
Mhm.
who Ameera Rose in terms of wrestling is in terms of real life. Like how did and what was the biggest thing you had to overcome to become the Ameera Rose for professional wrestling?
Gotcha. I know I usually like do a cryptic message, but at this point, I don't really care. So
It's a place of truth.
yeah, nah, I just feel like because whenever somebody asks me this question, I usually be like, yeah, something happened to me back in like college, and that's why I'm this way. Mainly, I dealt with like a moment where I feared for my life. I thought I was going to die. I had a ex who one day just snapped and just started abusing the crap out of me. And it put me in this situation where I was very low, depressed and stuff. And I started looking at life differently. I was just like, am I really moving the way I want to move, or am I settling? So I literally was just like, okay, cool. Let me look at things differently. Let me reevaluate my life. And throughout that phase, I just saw this thing called the Black Rose, and I started looking at the meaning. It was like rebirth. And I was just like, okay, cool. Let me just use that as a nickname if I do wrestling. So my character was more so a play on who I wish I was, which is more confident, more outspoken, taking control, pretty much. I don't give a crap about what anybody says. People are going to listen to me. Nobody's going to walk over me. That's pretty much who I started pretty much making myself into. So I kept that since 2018. And then once I actually debuted it, I debuted as Lily. It's still out there. Debuted as Lily. So people saw me go from like this bubbly, like shy guy to this girl who was like, you know what? Heck no, this is not what we about to do. I'm Ameera Rose. You better freaking listen to me and know my name. So that's where my character came from. It's more so like a play on my life, like who I wish I was, and pretty much building my own confidence while I'm doing it and just telling a little story all at the same time.
I
And
love
let me
that.
tell you guys, let me tell you guys, Amira would be in the locker room and you would not even know she's even in there. Okay, she would be in there. She'll be doing her hair, she'll be doing the makeup, and she'll be on her phone or whatever. And she's
Mhm.
quiet, extremely quiet. Like you would have to go and look for her to know she's in
Mhm.
the show. But when it's
Yes.
showtime and she's at that curtain, and she walked through there,
Mhm.
night and day, night and day. Like it's bananas the way she just turns it on like that.
Yes, I've actually had my uncle say the same thing. He came down from Germany and he was like, "Where's the Ameera Rose you be posting on social media? Like, you're so quiet right now. Where's this girl?" I'm like, you gotta catch me off guard. Like, you gotta catch me in the mood, man.
Oh man, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced since you started your wrestling journey?
I'm not really getting the respect, but having people trust you enough to put you on their show. Because
Mm.
sometimes you can reach out and you have so much faith in what you can do, but the promoter may not, and you don't get a reply. That's my main issue currently, is that. Or also getting in my head, because you can ask any wrestler, this, what we do is so tough. You'll have moments where you're like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I'm going the path that I want to go. Everything's working out in my favor. And then you have a moment where you're like, ooh, is this really what I want to do? Why isn't it things working out right? So that's one of my issues that I do have, is sometimes I have like very bad anxiety. I get in my head and I just start questioning things.
Do you have a manager, or are you the one that's doing all the reaching out in order to get booked for different shows?
It's me. We're all independent contractors, pretty much. Shoot, I wish I had a manager. Make my life easier.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, that's the way things are working. But however, I have something to tell you, Amira.
Okay.
We've had a guest on the show. His name is
Uh-huh.
Austin Aries. and he mentioned on the show that he's actually going to start running an agency for independent wrestlers.
Oh,
So, Ameera, if you keep your head high and your toes, on standing on business, it could be a possibility and it could be an opportunity. I can connect you with Austin Aries and we'll see how that works out. Because he knows exactly how it is in terms of what we go through to try to get these promoters to pay us correctly and treat us correctly. He wants to be that middleman to say, no, if you can't pay her hotel, her flight, per diem, because we got to eat, and transportation from the hotel to the venue to the airport, then we're not doing it. He wants to be able to put us in a position to where we're in demand, so that way we don't have to demand anything.
I love that.
We'll see what happens, man. His first show that he put on was early this month. He has a promotion down in Clearview, Florida, or Crestview, somewhere around there, down in the Panhandle of Florida. So I'm going to connect you with him with that as well, and then we want to see what happens after that.
Definitely, thank you.
How would you describe your style, both outside of the ring and inside of the ring? Like how I want to know, what do you dress like on a normal basis, and what is your ring gear? How did you get inspired by your ring gear to have your ring gear?
So outside, I think it's more comfortable. As you can see, like when it's not show day, it's comfortable. During the show day, I pretty much dress as if I've already made it. I've always heard that, dress as if you've made it, because you never know who's there, who's in the building. And then for my gear, it's really just whatever I can find, like fabric wise. But people come up to me like, "Oh yeah, your gear reminds me of Mortal Kombat," and I'm like, "Oh really?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I just find a fabric, or I go off of SoFly's gear and just go from there.
Awesome. Let me give the spotlight real quick to Brianna Beyond, because not only is she a fitness influencer, but she also sells life insurance. And so I wanted to give her a spot, because a lot of entertainers, they don't have life insurance. They don't know how to apply for it. And in certain arenas like wrestling or MMA or fighting professionally, it may be difficult to know what kind of insurance plans that you should get. So I want to get some information on life insurance and why it's important to have life insurance, whether you are a regular person or whether you are an entertainer.
Yeah, so I am a licensed life insurance agent. Life insurance is something that everyone absolutely should have. It doesn't matter if you have kids or you don't have kids, you absolutely need life insurance. I would say a big misconception about life insurance is that it can only be used upon death when it pays out to the beneficiary, but that's not true. You can utilize life insurance while you are still living. A lot of people do that. If you think about the Rockefellers, that's something that they did. There's books that have been written about this from many, many years ago. Walt Disney started by utilizing money from a life insurance policy, J.C. Penney, John Deere. There are several other companies as well. So it's really important, one, to protect yourself and being financially responsible so that your family doesn't have to do that, have a GoFundMe or figure out how they're going to pay for expenses upon, your death, because everyone's going to die at some point in life, which, we're hoping that that's many, many years from now, but it's just about being responsible. And then the other part of that is also understanding what life insurance can do for you. I know a lot of people that are independent contractors don't think about retirement. And when you don't have a 401k or you don't have some type of savings plan for the future, you can utilize life insurance for that as well. That's one of the aspects of being able to utilize it while you're still living. There's different types of life insurance, of course. So in order to be able to pull from a cash value account, you would need to have life insurance that also includes cash value. So there's permanent life insurance, and then there's term. And underneath that, there are different products.
What would be the benefit of a wrestler having life insurance?
Well, it's
And being able
financial.
to use it? Yeah.
Yeah. So if I understand just from this conversation that wrestlers are independent contractors, so I would say there's no 401k plan. So if you establish a life insurance contract that has cash value, you can plan for your retirement by utilizing that life insurance. You know, you're paying your premium, you have money that's going into your cash value account. You're planning for how much money you're going to need for retirement. It's really a whole financial snapshot. And planning is to understand what your needs are when you retire. How much money are you going to need to live comfortably from retirement age to your predicted amount of years that you expect to pass away? If that's 25 years, do you have enough money in the bank to say you're going to need $90,000 a year times 20? So with life insurance, you're able to have your death benefit as well as accumulate that cash value. And you can say, oh, I plan to retire at 65. So then you can start to borrow from the policy to utilize that as retirement income.
Awesome. And
And
go
hold
ahead.
on, sorry. But another aspect of that is living benefits too. So if you become severely injured or ill, like having a severed kneecap or suffer from a heart attack or stroke, you're able to utilize the living benefit so that you're able to still live. You can pull money from the life insurance policy, to pay for hospital bills and still be able to live while you're dealing with this illness. So you don't have that type of mental anguish and stress as well as a financial burden. You can utilize the life insurance in that aspect too.
Okay. That's great. Let me get some information real quick because some wrestlers do have injuries, right? And stuff does happen. On the fitness side, what are some ways of recovering from an injury? Like, what are some things that you can do to help recover from an injury?
I think first you need to see your doctor to make sure it's nothing serious that's going on. But sauna, cryo. I already say that wrong.
Cryo? Is that
That
that's
one.
what something like that? It's close.
Yes, it's really good for your body. And even just going from the sauna into a cold shower to just shock your body after you've done that, it helps to relieve inflammation out. There are different herbs that you can use that are good for inflammation. There's different topicals, topical herbals that you can use. And then also stretching. I mean, I think it's really important that we pay attention to our tendons and our ligaments just as much as we do building our muscles. So I would definitely say those things for sure. They've helped me, and that's why I can say that. And I know people that former professional athletes that really swear by the sauna and the cryotherapy. They work.
Yeah,
Cryo. What is it?
I think it's cryo.
I get it wrong
Cryotherapy.
every time.
That's gonna be a word for the day.
Yes.
So get the cryo in.
There we go.
Oh man, well thank you for that information.
Yeah.
I wanted to have you talk about that because we have both ends of the spectrum, right? Ameera, you kind of just getting into the game and Mr. Everything. You've been wrestling for a long time, and I know that a lot of wrestlers actually watch the show and they don't have life insurance or have a way of going about it. Was knowing how they can use it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can actually take money out of your life insurance and pay for all your travels. You know what I'm saying? And then you just got to pay, put the money back in at the end of the year. But I think it's good to talk about that because I don't think a lot of people talk about that. Mr. Everything, is that something that you hear on the indie circuits, man? Is people talking about, life insurance? I know a lot of people have like families and stuff.
Nah, not very much, man. I mean, well, I don't think anybody really talks about any kind of insurance at all. Me myself being a military veteran, I just go to the VA, which is horrible, so horrible, so horrible. We got to do so much better for our veterans because we go through so much just to get some type of service. And we've given the service, and now we got to fight to actually get our type of health insurance and doctor's appointments and coverage and all that jazz. But it's not something very common that we talk about on the independents. It may be on the top levels, like the larger companies, but as far as the independents, Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing and figuring out as they go. We have the men's mentality, and America can attest to it, to where we're like, I'm not going to get injured. I'm not going to do none of the stupid stuff. But then with professional wrestling, we can get in the ring and do whatever and do all the crazy stuff and go through tables and chairs and whatnot, and then go home and slip on a daggone Lego and tear our whole kneecap out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like professional wrestling has got to be the most backwards thing. Like our lives are the most backwards things that you have in the planet. We can do all this crazy stuff in the ring, be fine. People looking at us like, you're not hurt? Nope, I feel great. And go home and slip on a banana peel and hit our head on the side of the daggone dresser. Like, how did that happen? From wrestling? No, I was at home. But we lied. we lied though. We'll lie real quick. I got in a bar fight. Yeah, you should see the other guy. You know.
Yeah. I can definitely see that, man.
But that's why I do what I do, you know, because these conversations aren't prevalent amongst certain communities, amongst certain professions. So it's important to be able to share the information so that then a seed is dropped, and then maybe you'll go and research it on your own, or, you know, research books that you can find online and just get more educated about it, but not just take the education, but then act, because you realize that, oh, this is something that I can really utilize, and it will help me now, but it can also help my children and my children's children. So it's really about dropping that seed and just sharing, because I didn't always know this stuff either. It was somebody who shared it with me. And then I was like, what, is this real? And then I started reading the books about it, reading the books, talking to people who have utilized life insurance in real life. And then I've been able to do it myself.
Awesome.
You know, I might go look up some premiums right now. right after this show, I'm gonna get me a nice premium.
Okay.
Ameera, real quick. So, with you only being in the business for 4 years, and you've seen some of the top talent all around the U.S. on the independents and on the larger companies, give me somebody you would love to have the opportunity to step in the ring with, and let me know if it's like as a learning experience or just to be able to test your ability.
I know recently did Red Velvet. She was definitely one of them. I want to say Thunder Rosa just because they say she's like a hard hitter. I definitely also want to wrestle a lot more. Well, not a lot more because I haven't wrestled anybody, but Japanese wrestlers, because that's the type of style that I study. So I just want to be able to learn their style all while wrestling them at the same time.
Oh, you want to be violent? Okay.
What's the difference between like Japanese style and American style?
Ooh, that's a big difference. Some will say that they're hard hitters, but they're not really. They do a lot more. I'm about to speak wrestling terms, spots. So their stuff is more boom, 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 boom. And then you probably get what I'm saying, Mr. Everything, but their style is totally different. American is like, we have our beginning, the middle, and the end. Theirs it's constant. It's constant.
Yeah.
So
I've been chopped. Go ahead.
Yes, in terms of Japanese style, they're constantly going. It's always some kind of action.
And they do a lot of high flying stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once they stop, there's the pizzazz. So it's like bing, 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 boom, bam, bing, 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 boom, and then wow. Where American style, well, let's go, brother, and then we'll work it a little bit. And like, okay, let's go to this hold and we'll work it a little bit. Let's do this spot and we'll work it a little bit. And you know, we everything is built on emotion, whether it's Japanese or American, but we kind of take our time a lot more than Japanese style. And they are a lot more snug than we are. So once they get to a point, it's like, okay, I'm gonna lay it in, brother. They lay it in. We're over here, like, I mean, you hit me too hard, we will have a real situation, real problem.
Also, their crowd is different. So with us, our crowd is more like, you will hear them constantly. If you watch a Japanese match, 9 times out of 10, they're silent. They are silent until they do like that big move where it's like, oh yeah, now it's time for me to clap. And then it's like you hear them make little noises, but it's night and day.
Yeah.
energy
I
is
think that
totally
after a chop to my nipple, I'm quitting after that. I don't want to get you know what I'm saying? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was like, I want to be a trash collector or something. But who's hit you the hardest so far? Have you been hit hard yet?
Have y'all known my trainer? LeBron goes off. He hits hard as heck. But I want to say it's between Dream Girl Ellie and Red Velvet. Their forearms and their chops hurt, but I love it. Because I'm like, I always told people, please hit me. Like, let me feel that junk. I will give it right back to you. But yeah, it's between those two.
Oh, man. Like I said, first chop, I'm good after that. Look straight.
Where do you feel, or how do you feel about intergender wrestling? Women versus men. How do you feel about that aspect?
I'm not against it at all, because the reason why I said it is because when I train mostly guys. So if I have a practice match, I have a practice match with the guys. And at first I was more comfortable wrestling them because of that. I was like the only female for the absolute longest. So if someone was like, hey, I want you to wrestle so-and-so, I'm cool with it. I mean, at DCW, I wrestled Kaden and we had a great match. So I'm all for it. If anybody ever wanted to book me, I'm like, cool, let's do this. Let me be able to showcase some of the stuff that I'm not able to showcase with the girls. I love it.
That's
And you know,
Is
Kaden
it,
don't count. Right? You know, Kaden don't count.
Not at all.
Kaden is the princess of independent wrestling. We got to get Kaden on the show one day too. I'm gonna set that up right now. We got to get Kaden on the show.
Let's make it happen. Let's make that happen. Oh, man. Oh, real quick, just a little leisure conversation. Did you guys happen to check out the Super Bowl this weekend?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, yes.
You did? Okay. Let's talk about that halftime show real quick. I want to get your thoughts. You know, we got two ladies here. I wanted to get your thoughts on Usher's halftime show and how it compared to last year's with Rihanna. First of all, did you guys enjoy? Let me ask Ameera first. Did you enjoy the halftime show?
I did. I like how simple it was, yet he had a lot going on. I feel like it worked for Usher. If anybody else did it, I don't know, but it worked for Usher. It gave me like the Vegas vibe, like what he does down there. So I liked it.
Okay. There was one spot where Usher and Alicia Keys kind of, you know, they were performing together, and we got to talk about that thing. Bree, I know you saw it. Usher was a little snug on Alicia Keys, man. Do you think they went too far?
So I just thought it was a part of the performance. Like, I really didn't think anything outside of that. They're entertainers. I mean, they want you to continue to talk about the performance even after it's done. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was a part of the performance. That's it.
Swiss Beats ain't think that. Swiss Beats was looking like, hey man, you got one more check. You got one more time to touch my woman like that, bro. You got one more.
Did he really though? Because let's think about it. They had to have rehearsed before they went out there. I'm sure they spoke about that spot before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It won't know like it's in the spur of the moment. Come here, baby. I love you. Type thing. Like, and even if it was, it's something. It's pretty innocent, in my opinion. You know, because you're doing a Super Bowl.
That look innocent to you, huh? That's some work wife vibes right there. Look how happy she is. I ain't never seen her that happy with Swiss. Get your hands, man. I'm the way you were doing.
Has she ever done the Super Bowl?
I'm telling you, that's why the ice cream machine don't work right there. The ice cream machine don't work because they up there hugging and stuff. But I don't know. I I thought it
Reason
was.
192 why I don't like the internet.
Oh no, man! Tell your boy Usher to keep his hands to himself. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I thought it was a good show. Did you enjoy the games, Bree? I know you. I know you watched it. Did you enjoy the game?
I did. I just thought it was really long, but I did think that it was a good Super Bowl because nobody wants to watch a boring game, especially for the Super Bowl. So I enjoyed it. At first, though, I thought the 49ers were going to win because their defense was solid.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I thought they had a good solid run. Ameera, let me ask you a real question. Do you think that the Super Bowl is rigged? Do you think that they put on we wrestling fans? I know what a scripted show looked like. All of that looked scripted to me. It was way too many commercials. They had a whole new overtime with all new rules and shit. Like, do you think that show was scripted? You are a wrestler. You've been on wrestling promotions and shows before. Do you think the Super Bowl was scripted?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I've saw so many like TikToks saying that it was, so it's like kind of making me think, maybe it is. And I've also heard about that for like other sports where we thought it was quote unquote real. So I don't know. Like, the more and more I see videos that's coming out, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too coincidental.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to also get canceled for saying the wrong thing. So.
Well, I'll say it for you. I think it was scripted. I'll say it. I was looking at that game. I was like, that looked mighty planned. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple situations where they shouldn't have made it that far. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. You know, I don't want to get demonetized. But anyway, I saw the Super Bowl. I thought that was good, but it did look a little suspect.
Yeah, my main issue was just how much they showed Taylor Swift. I was just like, okay, I get it. She's dating what's his face, but like, we don't have to show her every 5 seconds. As well as posting on social media. That's it.
She's
say what you want.
No, that's why they keep showing her. Because she's like in another demographic audience to and just because they know she's gonna be there. Yeah.
Say what you want. Tay-Tay won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Tay-Tay won it.
Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl. She took that victory, Jack. For sure. Oh man. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great conversation. Real quick, I want you guys to let everybody know what you got going on and where can they find you. Let me start at the top. Miss Brianna Dion, what you got going on and where can people find you?
So let's see. If you need life insurance, definitely contact me because I can definitely help you. My son has something going on. He is now a child author. He has written a book. It's called JMP Plays Football, and you can go to www.bigvisionkids.com to check that book out. Actually, to order a copy of the book. My daughter's book will be coming up next. You can find me on Instagram at It's a Fit Me, and on TikTok I'm at FabFitBree, BRI Bree. Yeah.
Awesome. So make sure you.
I can't. It's just all about the kids tonight, though. Yeah.
All about the kids. You know what I'm saying? Treat the kids. You know what I'm saying? Well, thank you. And y'all make sure y'all go follow Miss Brianna Dion and her fitness journeys. And get some insurance. Mr. Everything. What you guys going on and where can the people find you?
Oh man, you already know. So look, follow my TikTok and even more TikTok followers because now I got my TikTok shop set up. I'm selling stuff. I got some shoes from TikTok. Got some shoes. Nice shoes. Lightweight. So follow my TikTok, man. Official _ Mr. Everything. You already know I'm always wrestling somewhere. I'm working on. I'm getting ready to get into a stage play. I've worked with a guy named Maurice Lochner. He has been on the Cosby Show. He has done some Tyler Perry plays. He came and we sat down, we chopped it up, and he has something coming up here in Raleigh and you know across the U.S. He just did a show with Vicky Winings in Oklahoma City. So he's like, yo, man, I watched you. I sit back and I observe. I want to put you on some stuff. So be on the lookout for Mr. Everything stepping on the stage, doing the stage play thing. I
Yeah.
got movies out. I got TV shows out. I've been on wrestling shows. Now I'm going to be on the stage play because I do everything. That's right.
That's right.
You see it.
Y'all make sure y'all go check out Mr. Everything Tubi movies. He got some of them Tubi movies.
Hey.
Why do
You know
you
what
say
I'm
that? You make it sound so bad, like so dirty.
Oh, you're
So like,
serious?
Tubi
Yeah.
be having his moments. Yeah, Tubi be having his moments. But I have a really. This is my first movie. You know, we did our thing. It was zero budget. Zero. We ain't had no money. No money. But you know what? No money movie will get us a big money movie. So you know, it's a process. It's a process. Oh, and I'm coming to Dallas, Texas, March 2nd. I would be stepping in the ring for the very first time for professional wrestling, ran by Sir Mo. And my opponent has changed. So originally it was going to be The Future. Now it's going to be Ryan Davidson. And we've had him on the show. I've stepped in the ring with him before. He's done some stuff with just some Japan's companies, and he is one of the top trainers for Reality of Wrestling. And pretty soon you will see me at Reality of Wrestling, ran by Booker T and Sharmell. So there's that. It's everything's on it.
All right, that's Mr. Everything. Y'all go follow him on all his platforms. Go watch one of his Tubi movies when he got one of them badass Tyler Perry wigs, half dreads, half afro, box braids in the back.
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh man, Miss Ameera Roze, what you got going on, and where can the people find you?
This Saturday, I will be in Tennessee for Imperial. I'm not 100% sure if the match is confirmed, but yeah, I will be there. And I'm trying to think if I have something next week. No, I actually don't have nothing next week. The next bookings I have is in March, so I'll be posting that on my Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter. So you guys can follow me on those. I also have TikTok and YouTube. So my handle is the same for each and every one of them. So you can follow me at Lil McKizzie. So that's LilMcCCIZZIE. And don't ask me where that came from because I really don't know.
Lil McKenzie. All right. That sounds like something to call you. When your cousins gave you that name, that's what it is. Lil McKenzie.
Brian, real quick, before we move on, you know what we got to do. You know what we have to do. We do it every time we have a guest. And I'm an equal opportunity ass hander. So, Ameera Roze, it's time to take you to promo school.
Oh, Lord.
Do we have a graphic?
You know it.
We don't have a graphic for that? Come on, I'm waiting for
yeah, one of them. Promo school. Listen, we do this thing each and every episode. Mr. Everything always has some kind of a beef with the wrestlers that we have on the show. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have you cut a promo on Mr. Everything. Just go ahead and hand his ass to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to leave no stone unturned. I want you to go for the jugular. You know what I'm saying? Take him out, pull some of the hairs out of his beard. You know what I'm saying? I want you to go in on this promo. Ameera, you going first. Do your worst. We going to promo school.
All right, let's see. What can I say? All right, let me get into character real quick. Give me a second. You call yourself Mr. Everything. I give you that because you've done so much. You've been everywhere pretty much. And you made a name for yourself. But my name is Ameera Roze. And there's absolutely nothing that is going to stop me from getting what I want, especially you. So if you want to get in the ring with me and try me because I'm a girl, trust me, you got something coming for you. So, Mr. Everything, keep that little name because once I'm done with you, you're going to be Mr. Nothing. See you next week.
Ooh, mic drop.
Let that breathe. Let it breathe. She left the mic smoking. Mr. Everything, what you got to say? That's a hard act to follow, my friend.
It is. It is. And the issue is that it was an act. Ameera, you act like you're one of the best. You act like you're one of the toughest women in professional wrestling today. Let me tell you something. I don't act like I'm tough. I don't act like I'm Mr. Everything because I've always been Mr. Everything. Whether it's in the wrestling ring, a boxing ring, an MMA cage, behind a camera, in front of a camera, on a runway stage, it doesn't matter what it was. I've always been and always will be Mr. Everything. Now let me explain something to you, little lady. I'm not one to put my hands on a woman, but I know somebody who can. Because see, not only have I been Victor Andrews, I've always been Jessica Lashley. So anytime that you feel like you're ready to step in the ring with a legend like Jessica Lashley, better do your research. Ask my older brother about me. Because Jessica Lashley is ready when you are.
Oh man, listen, you got to go in drag in order for you to fight. You gotta put on a wig and a dress.
Look, I'm putting it all out there. All of it out there, bro.
Yeah, you was on TV with a dress on,
You
bro.
didn't see that coming. I bet you didn't see that coming.
I didn't. That took a turn. That took a U-turn detour. All right, I'll say. Oh man, well that was promo school. We appreciate you for participating in that and handing Mr. Everything half in his ass. We appreciate that thing. Oh man, listen, we do this thing each and every Wednesday. It's a way for us to give a little bit of motivation, a way for us to give back, to get people through their week. Mr. Everything, do you have a final word or a word of motivation for your beautiful subjects?
Yes. Live life like it is your last second. And what I mean by that is don't hold nothing back. Don't accept no as a final answer. Don't go into hopes and wishes and what ifs. Just go and get it. Whatever it is you want to do, go and get it. Whatever it is you want to pursue, go and pursue it. Whatever it is you want to grasp, it's right there. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but as long as you put enough energy, enough power into it, it will happen. Faith without works is dead, so put some energy into whatever you want to do and go do it. That is Mr. Everything's final word for the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast.
Oh man, that was a great final word from the one and only Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews. Brianna Dion, do you have a final word or word of motivation for your beautiful subjects?
Absolutely. To piggyback off of what Mr. Everything said, be kind to yourselves. Take inventory of your thoughts, what you're listening to, what you're watching. If you are kind, then you can be kind in this world. If you don't know how to be, just practice. Write down one positive statement and revisit that over and over and over until it starts to resonate with you. And then you can begin to say more positive things about yourself. If you have a positive mindset, you can be kind in this world. If you have a positive mindset, you can just change your trajectory of even your life and how you see things, just your outlook, period, which will cause you to go farther so that you can just do those things that you want to do. You won't be held captive to your own thoughts. So take inventory, be positive, be kind.
Oh man, that is the final word from the one and only